To have passion in life is everything.
What's your Everest?
Oh,
Is it
yeah.
that 200-inch buck?
They just look so impressive when they're wide.
Especially running away.
Welcome to this week's episode of Eastmans Elevated.
It's like a think tank for outdoor activity.
Sounds exactly like my hunting. Just always thinking about it, always trying to evolve it and make it better.
Here's your host, Brian Barney.
Hey, what's happening, guys? Got a brand new podcast for you. So this podcast is from my Alaskan adventure up chasing caribou off the haul road. I got the entire crew together, and we sat down and recorded this, our final night there at about 2 in the morning. So we were a bit delirious on the podcast. We've been chasing caribou like madmen, kind of like I'm delirious now. I got my Hawaii buddies with me now, and we've been chasing elk, and a little bit sleep deprived, but I think I can get this intro and ending and get this podcast out to you guys so I can continue hunting elk. But just a really fun podcast. You've heard them before on it. They just do great. And when these hunts are fresh in your mind, you can just recall every detail of the hunt. You can remember, your tactics and what worked and what didn't. You remember some of the laughs you had along the way, which there's plenty of laughs in this one. You can remember your gear and what worked and what didn't. And so this is just a really fun one to share with you guys. I really enjoyed doing it, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy listening to it. Sponsor for today's show is Technu. Technu is just this great product and a great company. They came out with Technu Original that's made for poison oak and poison ivy. And if you guys have ever got poison oak, it's just a nightmare to get that oil on you, and you can't get it off. You'll rub it on your steering wheel or on your seat, and you'll pick it up for days, weeks, and even months. But this Technu Original, it removes all the oil from poison oak and poison ivy. And so if you're ever around that stuff, you just have to have a bottle in your medicine cabinet or in your truck. They also have a first aid gel that's great for healing blisters. You get any sores on your feet during hunting season, it's just a miracle worker in healing those up within a couple days. Also, cuts you get. Brandon Mason had a story about his kid getting burned and on a wood stove inside the wall tent and how fast it healed that up. But it's also a great product. Make sure you check them out, and thanks to Technu for sponsoring the podcast. And with that, let's see, the guys at Eastmans, everybody's hunting hard. I'm getting text messages. This is just a really fun time of year. I just need to clone myself to make more time. I need one of me at work, one of me with my family, and then one of me just hunting like a madman. But I'm trying to do all three and do the best I can do. But I'm just having a riot. It's just such a fun season. But the Eastmans crew is doing really well. I saw Dan Picard killed a nice 6-point early, and let's see, what did I saw? Scott Reekers got a good buck the other day in Wyoming backcountry. Really nice deep fork buck. And let's see, I saw Brandon Mason shot an antelope, and his kid Hunter, which I believe is around, don't quote me, but like 12 or 13 videoed the entire hunt. So that'll be fun to see. That'll make an episode that'll be coming up in Eastman's Hunting TV or Beyond the Grid. But yeah, it's just really fun to share in everybody's success. I think I saw that guy killed a good bull. Man, but it's just that time of year where you're getting texts and seeing pictures and being happy for guys being successful. And I've had a lot of success, and then I'm having a lot of fun, helping other people find their success. So, like I told you guys, hunting with the Hawaii guys this week, hunting elk, just been going really hard, close encounters, seeing some good bulls. And so it's been really fun chasing antelope with them, helping Clint harvest that good antelope. Like it's been about a week or week and a half. I feel like I'm in a time warp right now, but helping him out, helping my dad on his Wyoming mule deer hunt. And so I'm just having fun helping guys out. I am ready to get one of these bulls on the ground with my bow. It's coming down to the late season. Hunting's getting good. They're calling good. So I've been bringing my bow here with the Hawaii guys, helping them out. But I'm going to start chasing these things pretty hard with any time I have left. I've burned about all my vacation time I have, but weekend warrior and try to sneak a day either side of it and just chase these things around, and may do one more extended trip, see if I can sneak out. But yeah, just really fun. It's hunting season. Really fun to share in your guys' success too. But this has gone on way too long. Let's end this intro and get right into the podcast. Great podcast with my Hawaii friends and my Alaskan buddy, Chase Gallentine. I got Janus Padilla, Sean Curran, and Robin Kean. and me. So 5 of us on there. So Eastmans Elevated. Here we go. Okay, I'm here live. We're on site here in Alaska, our last night here. I've got my good buddy Chase in the rig with me, and I've got my 3 Hawaii buddies. We just finished up Alaskan caribou, so we got some caribou ribs on the fire. Sean's manning those, and just wanted to sit down and record a podcast. It's 11:40, still light out. Just a wild place on planet Earth.
Yeah, it is. Freaking feels like it's 5:30.
Right?
Never know what day or the time.
Yeah. Oh, I can't keep track of the days. Yeah, I'm just hoping I make my flight. I don't know. It might be 2 days late. It's crazy up here. Yeah, you lose all concept of time, and it's weird, like how hardwired your brain is to light and falling asleep. It gets late out here, and you feel like you shouldn't be tired. So we've been pushing hard. I guess I already kind of spoiled it. Caribou ribs on the fire means we got one. We did really good this trip.
Yeah, what? You guys got 2 today, yeah?
Yeah.
You and Rob each got 1, and then almost the first day we got in, we each got 2, and it was pretty back to back, both of them.
Janus and I got our second day, and Brian and Robin got theirs on the last day. Nothing better than that.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's so killer. But you got to be prepared for hunting out here. Like, this place is just full of challenges, it seems like. We talk it up, and we did. We had a great trip. And to be able to look through your binos or your glass and have your bow in your hands and be chasing caribou on the tundra is just absolutely wild. But this place doesn't come without challenges. Like, me and Chase were fixing a flat tire at, like, our first 40 miles up the road, or I guess our first, 100 miles up the road, we were fixing our first flat tire.
Yep, just outside of Coldfoot.
Yep, and then we fixed another one the other day. I've got scars on my knuckles to prove it from racking my knuckles, but it's, you got to be prepared for everything out here. And so for rigs, it's definitely like you put new tires on that rig last year. Yep.
New tires last year, 2 flats this year.
Right. But a patch kit, fix kit, compressor, like that's key out here.
Yeah, you got to have the tools to keep going. You're just stranded up here.
Oh, man. Absolutely stranded, yeah. And then you got to be able to get across water, right? You guys found that out the first day.
Oh, man. We were in the bowls, but we couldn't get to them. 100 yards away, and our little pack raft couldn't support us well enough to get across the river.
Well, not for lack of trying, right?
Oh, man.
I think my 4-year-old son could have made it across in the little pack raft. Not a 200-pound grown man,
Robin
that's
had
for
his
sure.
one paddle. We need one of those kayak paddles. He has one paddle off one side. He was out there spinning circles in the river. Pull him back! He started to go.
Yeah.
It was like, we had 100 yards.
Yeah, let's talk about that leading up to that.
What, the bowls?
Yeah.
We've been glassing for, 4 or 5 hours at that point?
Glassing about 100, 150 caribou across this river, literally 100 yards away.
Just
bedded
giants.
down on this island in this brush. And, we're looking at the river and we're thinking, oh, we could get across this,
Freezing cold from Hawaii.
Get across it. We got this little pack raft. We can do this.
Oh, man.
Water boys over here. But, Robin was real skeptical. He knows about the hypothermia, and we all do, but he was definitely the more skeptical one, but he was also the guinea pig.
Yeah, I lost that one.
So we
Kudos for trying.
We tied about 150 feet of parachute cord to the thing.
Well, we had 100 foot, and then we had another 100 foot roll, and we
200
feet together.
About 200 feet of parachute cord.
And
we were just gonna keep, doing the pulley system with the raft back and forth. And Rob jumped in, and right off the bat, he's practically river level.
Yeah,
almost taking on water.
My butt was wet immediately. Just soaked to the bone. Doing circles, 180s in the raft.
Yep. Gets about 10 feet out and spinning 360s.
We learned a lesson. Wrong paddle, wrong raft.
Well, we knew Brian guys had a bigger raft too, and when you got all the water, Sean grabs a raft and starts to run up. We gotta go up higher. I'm like, nope. He's like, you can do it. I'm like, nope. Let's radio Brian.
Abort mission.
Yeah, well,
Abort
it's
mission.
a coastal river out here, and it's like this fine line. And when you've never been here, you're trying to choose between, you know, a sturdy vessel and also a lightweight craft that you can pack around, because you never know where you're going to need it. And too heavy of a raft, and you can't portage and get out in different places and across gravel bars. Like, it gets really braided out here too. So it's tough to find the perfect vessel. But yeah, it sounds like the oar and the raft.
So we bought this raft planning on hiking some miles, right? Coming across these little creeks and, you know, smaller rivers that we could basically didn't have that much water flowing through them, and we could get across easy. Not this one that's about 100-yard stretch across, you know.
Yeah,
so,
it's big now. We've been getting rain. Like, that thing's dirty. Have you guys looked at that thing?
It rose another 6 inches. It's risen a foot today.
Oh, at least. Yeah, that's a big, gnarly river. Look, it's water all the way across that gravel bar now.
Yeah.
It's moving.
Yeah.
It moves a lot faster than you think it does.
So that was number one lesson learned.
Yeah,
right off the bat, you got these big bulls just laughing at us.
Have the right equipment.
Watching these Hawaii boys try to get across this Alaskan river in a little tiny.
Lesson was number 2 was learning how to use the Garmin before you come.
Oh, it was.
We had to drive 60 miles to meet up with you guys because we couldn't get the inReach to work.
Oh, we had this plan, and we both have Garmin inReaches, and so, you know, we traded contact info. We texted it to everybody. I tried one to your Garmin. I never got the failed message. I don't know why. But we tested everything, good to go, got our contacts. We show up here, send our message from Garmin, and Garmin tells us, no, you can't use that address. You have to use the email address. And so it won't let us send messages to each other.
And there's no way for us to get each other the messages. I started texting your wife hoping that she'd relay a message to you.
That was smart. That was
She didn't get it till 2 days later or something.
I had a revelation too. That's how I was going to get you my inReach, was to get a hold of Holly. And Chase had my inReach from the year before.
Yep.
And we had everything worked flawless that year. I don't know what we did different, but
Yeah, just had the wrong addresses in.
Yep.
Had to have the DeLorme address in there for it to work correctly.
Yeah, the email instead of the text number.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, so typical. So yeah, we can't get a hold of each other. You guys are into a bunch of bulls. We saw some bulls coming in. Like, it's been good. Weather's been cold. Like, we're all a little chilled right now. We've been hunting all day and packing out bulls, and it's been raining just non-stop. Wet and like
40 degrees out right now.
30 to 40 degrees right in there. And that damp cold is it's a different cold. It gets you bone chilled. So we're just warming up now. This feels pretty good.
Yeah, we had a killer sunset last night. And this morning was sunny.
It's the first time we saw the sun.
First time we saw the sun, and now it's raining harder than it's.
Yep. The
been raining the whole
forecast.
time.
Yeah.
We realized when it predicts sunshine, it rains, and when it predicts rain, it doesn't rain.
Yeah, you just take the forecast and flip a coin
You just
or roll
have
the
no
dice.
idea
You don't
what
know
it's
what you're gonna
do.
get up
Yeah,
here.
No
That's
idea.
part of the reason you got to bring up so much gear. You know, it's hard. It's kind of a harder trip to plan for because there's such a variance in the weather. It's like there's so many things that you can prepare for. You got to figure out, you know, the right amount of stuff to bring so that you're prepared for everything. You obviously can't bring everything because I mean our car was just.
Oh, you guys brought everything.
it was just miserable. I mean, by the end of the first day, I couldn't find my release or couldn't even get to the food. It was just buried.
Gosh, it's tough to
Yeah,
keep
we have
organized.
way too much gear.
Oh,
But we need it all. I think I used everything.
yeah, I think I used
You did,
pretty
yeah.
much everything. I brought.
Everything's soaking
Well,
wet right
and
now.
last year, me and Chase hunted. It was like 75 degrees out.
Yeah, it's a complete flip year to year. For sure.
Yeah.
Still needing as much footwear though.
Oh my gosh. This
Footwear
place
is
is
key.
so wet. There is so many. There's like millions of gallons of standing water everywhere in this tundra. Like where we found the bulls, or where we hunted quite a bit, where Rob, you killed yours today.
Yeah.
That place is like walking around in a lake. Like it's all underwater.
I belly crawled in that lake for 2.5 hours.
we've all been crawling around, but yeah, you put on the most epic stop. Yeah. Today, you got caught in the wide open and made it happen on those caribou. That was a cool deal, man. I was super psyched to see you get one right in the end.
Yeah, I got to watch the whole thing.
That was awesome. That was a lot of effort and a lot of work.
Oh my gosh, we've just been going for
stock after stock after stock.
Yep.
Blown stock after stock.
And those caribou, like, they're categorized as like an easier animal by people, I think, sometimes. Like when you're in the migration and they're all coming through, like I'm sure it's just pick one out and shoot it, but it's maybe not. Like they're so well suited for the tundra, but they're just different in the way that they pick up predators. They can't relocate miles away from wolves. They just have to get a safe distance and then keep an eye on them. And so you can tell that with the caribou. Sometimes, I mean, they just take off and they're migrating to wherever, to Russia. But, sometimes, they'll just keep 200 yards in front of you and let you get a little bit closer and 200 yards in front of you. But the key is the element of surprise and not to let them see you. But they're tough, huh?
It seems like they're always 100 yards away.
Yes.
Always 30 to 40 yards from where I need to be every single time.
But they're very curious.
They are very curious. Yeah, today I called one back in, chirping at him, and just stuck my arm in the air and pretended I was a caribou, and he came beelining right at me.
And they were running.
Now you're ruining my whole theory.
Running at me. But,
they are curious.
But they didn't know what I was.
Yep.
I wasn't a wolf.
And I think they want to know.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah, no, I put that stock on, and then I missed a shot and was able to do that and then get back down and regroup as they came back in trying to figure out what I was, and got another shot.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, and then the tundra, like you can tell somebody about it and you can talk about it, but until you get out in that stuff, you have no idea, do you? Especially like I think there's degrees of difficulty to it. Like me and Chase were talking about it. Like some of it's like a 2 or 3. It's not bad. It's dry. You can walk right across it. It's great. The ridge tops are like a 1. You can walk those no problem. But you hardly ever find those. It seems like you're in the lake stuff. Like Robin, where you killed your bull and where you were hunting, like that stuff was a 10 all day. It was like walking across a lake in places, and then that muskeg just sits up. It's hard to keep your balance on it. Your ankles are always uneasy, and then trying to keep your feet dry. I mean, you guys had a good system. You guys wore the muck boots, rain pants over the top, pretty much kept dry. I think, Robin, your feet got wet one day in those.
Yesterday, and then again today. Crawling around in a lake.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, you're hunting in a lake.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, it was, I think boots are probably the most critical, tool to bring. If you don't have 2 boots, you're gonna be sitting dry in a pair of boots for a whole day. I mean, unless you're walking around in cold boots, and if it's freezing, it's tough.
Yeah, I don't know what the perfect system is. Like the muck boots are good. Like I just hiking miles. I don't know how it'll do on my feet, but that's the system I got to try. I think next, because I tried to run the waterproof socks this year, and I think they're just older and kind of worn out. Neoprenes I have, and then I have some waterproof ones, but they're not really waterproof. They just get saturated through with the water in my shoes or my boots. And I can keep my boots with gaiters dry for a while, but hunting that lake spot, you're not keeping anything dry unless you're covered up, And hunting in waders just sucks. We tried that on the Colleen, right?
Right. You can't do it, can't move.
You just can't hike.
No, it's not good.
Yeah. And the hiking boots over like the neoprene, boot waders or whatever, just gets super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, and then you sweat.
Yep. Doesn't work because you're going to go from. You can put 6-7 miles out there on that tundra walking around.
We did.
Yeah, several times.
We all just went for it. But yeah, me and Chase, we've been going for it so hard. We've been grinding so hard. Finally paid off today. We got it done on a bull. It was awesome. But yeah, we've been grinding. We did one yesterday, and we got back to camp, and so So the story is, so me and Chase, we glass out, and I'm watching these two giant bulls, and they're at the base of this hill, and they're a pretty good walk away through the tundra. I'm telling Chase, but they're at the base of the hill. I think I can slide down the hill, and I can get a chance at them, and I think I can kill every caribou I see. Chase will attest to it. We walk after too many of those things where you really got to play these things patient and see which direction they're going to go. But anyways, we stalk for these two bulls, and we walk around. It's really rolling hills, and we're looking for them, and we walk all the way to the end of planet Earth, to the end of this ridge. We just keep going, thinking they're a little bit ahead, and get back, and Robin says, "You see those two bulls? You guys walk way by them, way in the heck by them. They're bedded out there." I thought about going for them, and I guess we had doubled the distance from where those things were to where we walked. Just total wrong spot trying to relocate them.
I thought you were hunting other bulls, and then I was going to go make a play on those two.
Yeah, you should have. Gosh, they were good-looking bulls.
It was a good mile and a half
that was
across
just
the
a
tundra.
mistake we made. But from the mistakes we made, we played a lot of situations, as good as we could, or perfect, you could call it. But it's just tough to get them to work out. Just, we had a good crawl on a bull yesterday. Me and Chase did. Crawled in range of the other two bulls that are a little bit smaller, but still really good ones. And then there was just this giant up there, and he was kind of feeding around. And Rob, you were watching from the vantage point quite a ways off. Like, it looked like he was walking right into us, but he was actually a little ways out. He came around our bad wind side and caught our wind, but man, that was close.
That was the worst wind we had the whole trip. Otherwise, it's been pretty consistent.
Yeah, it has been consistent.
Today I
usually
had good
consistently wrong. But
it was always blowing the wrong direction.
Yeah, from where we see the caribou, like, they're always like, we gotta walk with a bad wind or try to cheat the wind one direction or the other. And on that stalk, me and Chase, you watched us, we repositioned like 3 different times, to the left of the bulls, to the right of the bulls, before we'd approach to get that wind right. We finally did get it right for a little while anyways.
I thought for sure you were going to kill that bull.
Oh, God.
He was bedded, you guys crawled in, and then a third bull popped up, got him out of his bed, and it looked like he was just walking right to you on a string.
He was, and he ended up circling downwind a little bit, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, if he wouldn't have caught our wind, I think we would have killed him.
Yeah, he would have kept coming right at you.
Oh, so many points on the top end, so long and wide, and just. I remember he looked at us, like, we've got some video footage of him, but looking at us, it looks like he's got like 40 or 50 points out there pointed at us. Thing was incredible.
And when he ran, he ran. He never looked back.
Yeah, I stole your saying that he was going to Russia, because that's what you told me about my bull. Like, after I spooked him, like, there was no slowing down, catching up with that thing, right?
I drove 2 miles up the road and jumped in to try and cut him off, and ran out into the tundra as fast as I could, got to a plateau and looked over, and that bull was headed straight for Russia. Never looked back, never stopped. The other 2 bulls didn't have any idea where he was going.
Why he's so big.
Yeah.
Smart.
Janus, you struck first.
I did, man. It happened. I think it was my first stalk, and everything just came together. But there was all that road construction, and we're driving along, and Scott, our buddy Scott, who's with us, actually was ahead of us, and we see his truck on the side. So we're driving by, and we're following the pilot car, who's kind of guiding us through the construction site, and we look over. And there's 3 or 4 giant bulls down there, just bedded about 100 yards off the road. And we're looking, we're like, oh, right there. And we see Scott kind of creeping up over here. So we drive about maybe 150 yards past that, and the pilot car stops. And he's talking to the other construction workers. So we're like, fuck, we should jump out. Sean jumps out. He's like, come with me. Come on, let's go. I'm like, I don't have all my stuff together. I don't have my boots on. I'm like, fuck, it's all muddy water down there. It's all swamp. So I was trying to take my boots off and put on my muck boots. I jumped out of the truck once, and then she's like, we gotta go. So I jumped back in, and then she stopped for a second. I jumped back out. I threw one of my shoes in and grabbed my other boots, and I'm hobbling along with one boot, one sock. I look at Brian, they're just laughing at me, and I freaking roll down the berm, and I'm putting on my boot, and then I catch up to Sean, and we kind of split up, and I go behind and down,
Yeah, you hung back.
And then
I took the roadside just in case they crossed over.
So it was like
and Scott was down below pulling the stock.
Yeah,
So-
we had them in the triangle.
Well, and you guys played it really patient, and like up here, it's just a different world. Like, we're not dropped off or flown in. Like, we have an access road, and from that access road, like, it's the only way you can really travel through the tundra effectively or efficiently. And so you use it to cover hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of square miles to find where the caribou are, and then you can make plays down after them. But yeah, you guys made a play down there, and everybody played it really patient, let Scott get into range, and Scott got really close, like stalked within 40 yards of him down there.
I think he said it was like 45 yards, yeah, and he, I guess he didn't feel comfortable making the shot, and one of them kind of busted him. He didn't really run though. They kind of like ran to this little side road down there, and I just kept going straight down, and I cut them off, and they were just coming straight for me, and everything kind of lined up, and they just walked right by me at like 50 yards, and I took a shot, and I actually stopped him. He was walking by, I was like, meh, and he stopped, and right when I shot, he took one step, and I hit him kind of far back, and I just gut shot it, and I felt so bad. They all ran off, and I thought they were gone. I thought he was gone. I didn't even see him stop. So I went up to get my arrow, and I looked down the road, and there he is, just kind of walking along, and then he bends down. And then Scott came walking up, and we're talking about it, and he's kind of like, yeah, we should just let him sit. He kind of calmed me down a little bit, and me and him crept up, and I was able to get a 30-yard shot, and he just ran out in the field and died. It was great. And everybody was right there watching, so it was like, oh, you guys all came down. I don't think I carried one piece of meat out. There was like 5, 6 of us down there.
Celebrating.
Yeah, we got
that
a
was
great
awesome.
group of
It
guys.
was
Celebration.
awesome.
Yeah,
man.
well, and
Massive. It was a great bull.
Oh, such
Yeah.
a good bull. Well, and with hunting too, like you work so hard, and we've been working harder than anybody else out here. Not to say that guys aren't hunting hard, but we're working every vantage point and glassing miles and miles and miles off through the tundra and going to look to find different vantage points. But I always say, you have to take the easy ones with the tough ones too. And even though that thing was close, like those things are not easy to get close to, and you got to take every opportunity you get, and it's public ground. Like that's the way we get around. And so to jump down there and make a stalk with your bow, put yourself in a good position, be patient, and then have that thing work by you. It was just awesome.
It just all worked out. It was crazy.
Oh, and such a good bull, like you guys say, just an amazing specimen. So fun to see and watch the tops and beams, and the mass is what got me. That thing is so massive, like a baseball bat.
Yeah,
it was really
I was blown away.
Yeah.
How big these bulls are up here. I mean,
We've seen some
even when you see them, 50 yards away, like, wow, that thing's huge. But when you actually walk up to it and you get that close and put your hands on it, I mean, that thing is just...
They are beautiful animals.
Big old curler, about 50 inches of main beam at least, huh?
Oh, man, yeah.
And,
Crazy, right?
about
And the
30,
points
40 inches wide, and the points, stickers all over the place. Yeah.
Well, but like
incredible.
I say...
Incredible animal.
Yeah, incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's so cool to watch you get that. And then to have us all be part of it, the team down there, first harvest, that was really cool. So yeah, I got him out of there. And then
so
we were just in them. You guys had found them, and so like a lot of it is finding the migration or the pulse of caribou, but it changes day to day, And if you miss it, you don't get a chance. Like, And so you guys had found it down here, so we ended up moving our camp or coming down here. And I think moving our camp, but yep. And then Sean got his next. He's out, and he's the cook too. He's checking the ribs
How
that
those
we
ribs
got going
doing?
over the fire.
Looking pretty good.
Doing the other side of them.
Yep, almost done.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Yep.
Yeah, right when we got back with my bull to the truck, one of the construction workers stopped and he's like, man, a bigger bull than that just crossed the road, half a mile down. And we all jumped in, and I think that's the one that Sean and Robin got to play on.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of tried to play the trifecta, but it kind of ended up...
Yeah.
I think Brian guys came from underneath, and the bulls were headed right to you guys on a string, and then...
I think they either got a little too far on us, but yeah, we had a shifty wind for sure that I was trying to cheat, and I got busted doing it. Just my first few minutes out of the truck, just like don't even really have the feel of things yet. Like just the first stalk, and we made our play and worked around them, and then I think they caught our wind and squirted out, and you guys had played their exit. and then capitalized on that bull.
Yep.
Sean shot him. He ended up dying on the other side of the river on the original island you guys saw him on. So
Yep.
We
50-yard shot hit him, and he went and kind of bedded, and I had to put another one in him. And when I did that, he ended up walking about 200 yards down towards the river, and I'm just following him the whole way. I mean, it was cat and mouse. I was 100 yards from him, and he just wouldn't stop. And, you know, I saw good blood coming out. I figured he was going to expire.
Good thing we had a raft.
Nope, he ended up jumping in that river and swimming across the other side. And
they love water. Mine died in water last year.
And then he ended up expiring right as he got out of the water on the other side of the river.
He almost got drugged down river. He almost expired in the river.
Yep. And he almost floated past camp.
Yeah.
That would have been bad.
But, so then thank God you guys had a better raft than we did.
Yeah.
There's no way we would have gotten him across on that pack raft. No way.
3 pounds at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great bull.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yeah, that thing was a giant. Big tops that turned in towards each other, and great fronts, and great mass. Like, what a bull. So yeah, it was just, we were in the migration at that point. Like, we hit a hot spot, and so we thought it was going to be hot. Like, this is going to be great the whole trip, but it gets tough then, you know? You get a pulse of them, and then nothing, and you'll, you know...
There's a bunch of people came rolling in too, I think.
Yeah, so let's talk about
other guys that came up.
How we were on these bulls and all those bulls were over on that island, and you know, we were all helping out each other with Janus's, and then, you know, playing the stock on the one I got. And then that whole time we were planning on jumping in the raft going across to the island.
Scott was pumping up the raft.
Scott was pumping up the raft, getting ready to cross where there's about 150 caribou over there. And here comes this truck rolling in, right?
Yep.
Pumps up their raft while we're kind of messing around with Janus's bull and shoots it across. And, you know, hey, fair chase. They were on it. They got there before us.
They made it before we could get the raft pumped up. And, you know, there's hunting pressure out here. Like, it is a blue-collar hunt. You don't have to fly out, and so, you know, therefore you get hunting pressure. And a lot of times you find a caribou, you got it all to yourself. And if you're willing to go walk a bunch out in the tundra, like, you got it to yourself. But some of these plays, like caribou walk at 15 miles an hour. To go chase every single one out in the tundra, like we've been trying to do pretty much, but it's tough because you don't catch up to every one you chase. Like, they're on the migration. So a lot of times these things are crossing, like in this point, we're crossing, you know, closer to the highway or right out in the island, like out in that river. And so guys pulled into the access road, so we instantly had pressure. And, you know, just try to be courteous, and they're just hunting too. And, you know, if somebody's out on a stalk, you try to leave them alone. You try not to mess it up, and you try to go on your way and leave them be. And for the most part, that's what guys have done to us. Sometimes there's, you know, sometimes pressure gets in the way, but for the most part, you can find your own caribou and your own plays, and you don't have to really mess or mix in with any of it if you don't want to.
Yeah, you never know where these things are going to be either. You may push them out, or they just may move. I mean, they're not like a lot of other animals that I've hunted. I mean, you'll see them there in the evening, and you'll go back there in the morning, and a lot of times they'll have like this pattern where they'll be feeding in the morning, they'll bed down, and then you can catch them again the next morning. But these caribou, man, I mean, you just never know. They just move so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're just moving.
Yep. Migrating.
Yeah, migrating.
Yep.
Doing a circle.
Yep, so your hot spot from the day before, you go out there the next day and there's nothing, El Blanco, you know?
Or even later on that night.
Yeah.
We took a cruise at, what was it? 1 a.m.?
2 in the morning.
Yeah. You can hunt 24 hours.
You can hunt 24 hours.
And a lot of our advantage, too, is hunting hours that other guys aren't hunting. So some of that was one night, rolling super late out and through there. And it didn't pay off that night. I think we got a stock that day, though. Me and Rob did out on the tundra, right?
Yeah.
Chase was with me.
Yep.
We circled around, about 5 miles around those things in that tundra?
It was like a 7-8 model Tundra.
Oh my gosh.
You guys went on a mission.
And it was gnarly Tundra too. It was like an 8 or 9 on difficulty scale.
Yeah, and I belly crawled across that lake.
You got close.
Yeah, I was 190 yards. My rangefinder while I was belly crawling got super wet and fogged up because I had it hanging around my neck. So I couldn't get a good range, but I was 90 yards, 100 yards from them, and they were feeding right past me. I just couldn't move. They have really good hearing.
I can't believe
every time I'd make a move, like slide a little bit across the tundra, they would look at me.
Yeah, they can hear you splash too.
They definitely hear you splash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I blew a stock on that.
Yep.
Just crossing a little creek.
You'd think they'd have better eyesight than hearing, just out here in the open.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like antelope.
Mm-hmm.
I think they get like 8x vision.
They do have really good sense of smell. I'll tell you that much. They can smell you.
I think these ribs are almost done.
Yeah, I don't know how many blown stocks I had this trip.
Ribs are almost done.
I think they're almost done.
Let's see how long. 30 minutes. Should we
I think we should do a little halftime.
pause it, have some
intermission.
ribs, and then come back to it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, we're back. Oh, such good ribs, little meat. Got a lot of good meat from those caribou.
Yeah.
These things weigh like what, 400 pounds or so?
I don't think they're that big.
You don't?
No. Janus and I were talking about it. The back straps weren't very big on.
No,
that
but
shot.
every animal's designed a little bit different where it has its power and things, but
They have big long legs.
I know
for
they're
sure.
bigger than a mule deer, right,
Back
Chase?
end.
Oh yeah.
And they're bigger than a 300-pound mule deer,
Yeah.
or 250.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say they're 300, 350.
Cow elk.
350, 400, I'd say.
Yep.
I think they're a size level above mule deer, but definitely a size level below elk. Elk are giant.
Elk are, ridiculous.
Elk are double what a caribou is, I guess.
At least.
Yeah, bull elk is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a moose, double an elk. Jeez, man, oh man.
Deep Thoughts by Brian Barney.
Yeah, we have had a lot of that. Oh yeah, we've just been theorizing and just hunting hard, just day in, day out. It's just it's close calls. They just don't always work out. You just make your best bet. You try not to be reckless or make any mistakes, and you just kind of take what the animal gives you. It seems like. You guys are really good at that. You guys get a ton of practice in Hawaii, so you guys were ready for this place. Just cut you loose and show you a caribou bull and tell you it's public and see what happens.
Oh,
You got pretty lucky.
stock after stock after stock. It is like hunting in Hawaii.
Yeah, they're just not always there when you get there. They migrate off, and you learn real quick not to chase moving caribou. You got to try to get in front of them, or you wait till, like, here we're hunting migrating caribou, but I think we're also hunting like resident caribou. They're just kind of hanging around in different spots that are real happy bedding and feeding in a spot and hanging there for a day or so.
Yeah, there was definitely a few that were kind of made an area their home,
Yep, but they weren't there today.
today.
Not too many.
No. they
Must have
weren't.
moved on.
Well, the first 2 days were on fire, and then there was 3 days of where we had to really search for them.
Yep.
You guys had to do some serious walking, and then today seemed like there was a few more down by the water, which is a kind of a, there was more cover, it was brushier, so it was easier hunting down there.
Yeah.
And that's where you got yours.
Yeah.
Down there.
Yeah,
So
pulled it
fun.
out. Bottom of the 9th, last afternoon of the last day I can hunt. And, we made a play down after a bull and able to catch him in his bed and get within 45 yards or so of him and shot and hit him high. And, God, I was upset at like how high it was. It was, and I just thought, man, oh man, like I know I had the pin right on. It was like 45 yards right there. He rolled off, but he was hurt bad and bedded instantly, and then head was tipping over. I put a second arrow into him, but and then we watched back on the footage, and that thing ducked my string. He ducked like he had to duck 6 inches on the shot.
Yeah, he did.
crazy. I didn't think those things jumped the string, but he definitely dropped by the time the arrow had got there.
I'm telling you, they have good hearing.
Man, right? Yeah.
Strong back legs. You could tell his back legs dropped, his whole body dropped, and he just kind of lurched on the video.
Getting ready to get out of there,
like
right?
You were saying, they're built differently. You know, their back legs are real strong.
Yes.
So I think when it went to push off, it kind of dropped down and just fucking
right.
missed it.
Yep. Oh, I know. Oh, it's so awesome to get it done on that bull. And then you killed a bull today. You told me like your top 3 stalks ever. You were out in that really tough tundra today working that bull and then able to get an arrow in him, Robin.
Just 2.5 hours of belly crawling in a lake. 40 degrees outside. Yeah, soaked to the bone, but yeah, it was epic. At one point, I couldn't figure out what the caribou was doing. He was just standing there looking like he was grazing. And he'd shake every once in a while, and I thought he was going to look at me. And it was the mosquitoes were just eating him up, and he was going nuts. And he was just standing there in like the Zen mode, trying to deal with the mosquitoes. And that's how I was able to stalk in super close, is he wasn't paying attention. And you guys warned us about the bugs up here, but I don't think any of us Hawaii guys ever could have imagined how big these things are and what they can do.
How extreme they are, the swarms.
We're hiking back with my bull today, and Janus looks at me, he's like, they're eating me through my rain gear.
They were biting me through my rain gear. I had a merino, a long underwear underneath that, and my rain gear on top of that, and they were biting me through all 3 of those. Like, it hurt.
Those things are evil,
like
aren't they?
I watched Robin hit one on the dashboard. Whack! And he got up and flew away. I couldn't believe it.
And I think I'm allergic to them. I mean, my hand swelled up like a balloon the first day, and then my lip last night. And
your face looks like you got Botox.
Both my eyes are swollen right now. Yeah, belly crawling. My butt crack was out in the air, out in the open, with pulling up my shirt, and that just got eaten up. And
how many hundreds of bites do you have?
I could just feel like 10,000 little needles in my back as I'm belly crawling in, and finally I just rolled over and put it in the lake so they couldn't eat me anymore. It's just miserable.
Yeah, poor caribou, man. I watched one out there. I was glassing. I couldn't quite figure out what it was doing, because it'd be doing this weird, jumping around, and then it'd kind of cruise and start eating, and then just bolt back this other direction, and then it'd be eating it. I thought it had one of those brain worms that the moose get, I was looking at it, I was like, what is wrong with this thing? I didn't really understand it until I went out to help Robin clean his caribou, and then I understood it was the mosquitoes, and they were just relentless. I know.
Just evil.
I get it. These poor caribou.
Yeah. And we got it good. It's cold weather. Like anytime below 42 degrees, we didn't have any bugs. We were able to enjoy it. But then the minute it gets 42 or 43, they just come out in full force. Hundreds of thousands of them. But yeah, you just have to deal with it. Yeah. Like, I don't know how good that DEET is for you. The one day, I don't even put it on my lips or close to my mouth, but I can taste it every time I put it on. And that stuff, like, it made my lips numb one day. My lips went numb like I was in the dentist. Like, I don't think that 100% DEET is good for you.
Can't be good for you.
Or you lather it up on your face, and then it starts raining sideways, and then it all just drips in your eyes, and your eyes just start melting.
That was Chase.
Yeah, that's true.
What, the second day?
That stuff is gnarly.
Squirted in your face? Squirted in your eye on accident?
Yeah, that was awesome. Sean did it today too.
I thought
you guys should try it.
I thought that was so funny.
My lips are numb.
You were trying to spray it on your sleeve, and then the nozzle was pointed right at your face as you were looking at your sleeve. And the minute you sprayed it, it was right in your face.
Oh, but look, it melted my hat.
This stuff is evil.
Yeah, I sprayed it on my hat one
melted
day.
The other
I'll
side
tell you what, it works.
Yep.
It does work.
It's evil, but it works.
These
Yeah.
the thermocells work pretty good too.
Yeah, in a
As long as you
closed
get 'em
area,
in the car.
If you can get them lit.
Well, if you get 'em lit. Me and Robin were like, we're gonna go put one out in the field and watch all the caribou come to it. we were like, we need a salt lick. Just put a big old thermocell out there. Give them a break.
They live a harsh life. Like the summer, just get eaten alive, and then you go right into winter trying to find food.
And then chased by wolves and bears and and us and
They are a hardy species. Yeah, I don't know how they made it out here.
I don't know.
Those, and we've seen some muskox. Those things are pretty cool.
Oh God.
the foxes are really
so
cool.
Brian's butchering. No, he's putting the stock on his bull earlier, and I'm a little ways behind him, and I'm watching the whole thing play out. And I look behind me, and I just see this huge brown clump with the biggest hump on it. And I mean, my heart just skipped a beat. The thing was like 100 yards away. I'm like, binos up to the eyes, practically knocked myself out.
There.
Holy shit, that looks like a huge grizzly right there. And then it lifted its head up, and I seen the horns coming out its mouth or nose
Those
area,
things
and
are
I was
so
like,
cool.
thank God.
Woolly mammoth.
Well, and it doesn't help that you guys saw a grizzly bear there not but a couple days ago.
Yeah, that has
That was
lived
the
on
spot,
that
wasn't it?
hillside.
Yeah, that was the road.
That was a spot.
yeah, where you saw that first one.
And it was one of the only areas where the brush was thick
I
enough.
was like, this looks like grizzly tree.
Yeah, it was one of the only areas where the brush was thick enough that a grizzly could hide in it, or kind of come up on you, and you
could surprise each other.
Yeah,
right?
surprise each other. And me and Brian are walking down there to go on the stalk, and I'm looking at Brian. You got a firearm? No, I got some bear spray. Like, yeah, me too. I wish we had a firearm right now. But yeah, it's the way it goes, man. Just gotta
Go slow.
Yeah, I don't think I saw a bear.
hope and pray.
I couldn't find that one that day that you guys had seen just a touch earlier. I don't think I saw one, but you guys saw a couple of them, huh?
We've seen two. We saw one south of camp, out on the river, and then that sow and cub up where you shot your bull today that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked to one of the natives that was working, and he said last year there was bears everywhere,
Okay.
and this year he's hardly seen them. And I was wondering if it was because of the berries. There wasn't many berries around the area.
There's no berries.
Yeah.
I ate some blueberries yesterday, and I
Did
brought
that
you
play
some
a
of
role?
those salmon berries.
But there wasn't many at all.
Yeah, there's not many.
No.
Like, honestly, last year you couldn't step out here anywhere in the tundra without stepping on berries. They were
Wow.
everywhere.
And I'll tell you what, if there is a bear in the area, we got ribs on the barbecue. We got capes hanging off of our
Two carcasses less than half a
off of
mile
our
from
tarp
town.
out here. We got meat bags on the back of Chase's truck, and we've got two carcasses about a half a mile down the road.
Yeah, I mean, we
So-
are in the tundra here where there is, there's no trees. You
Oh, and we got
can't-
Janus's tuna fish. Just
Yeah.
fermenting outside.
Yeah,
So I think if there are some in the area, though,
it's tough.
They'd be
Gotta
over
live
here.
out here somewhere.
it's like a buffet to them.
The nice thing is it never gets dark. So
Yes.
you do, if a bear does come in, at least you can see it come in.
They get hunted up here, too.
Yeah.
The locals can hunt on their grizzly bear tags just starting here in a handful of days.
Yeah,
So that-
they're clearing out probably.
Yeah, they'll get after these bears in here for sure. They got good hunting in the spring up here, too. Our buddy Scott has been telling us about it. He's harvested a couple with his bow. And
That's
some pretty
nuts.
nice ones. That's pretty wild.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll pass.
And then 2 years ago with Chase, we hunted grizzly bears there pretty hard. Like, Chase can hunt them, and then Chase's dad is next to kin, and he shot a grizzly bear there. And that was really cool.
Yeah, it was a good trip. That's all Dad wanted to do.
Yes. He loves to hunt,
You get a
loves
nice
to go
one,
on
Chase?
adventures.
Yeah.
You get a nice bear.
Yeah, it was a good bear.
Yeah.
Was that up here or was that more down?
No, we flew into a spot.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, we flew into a spot, and then we did 100 miles of river in there. And then we camped at different spots along the river and then hunted moose down through there.
Floating river would be super fun.
Yes. Yeah, it's an adventure. Yeah, it's a cool way to go.
Yeah, we saw the fox chasing the wolverine.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, fox chasing a wolverine. That's right. Yeah, chasing it around, and then the wolverine would stand up and look back at him, and they'd chase each other a little bit further. Like, I thought the wolverine would be chasing the fox, not the other way around.
Foxes are cool.
But yeah, no, we've seen that. A lot of cool wildlife. Yeah, and Chase is always doing research on these different rivers and what to float, and like trying to plan it, you know, where it's cost effective, where you can get dropped off with a, you know, pay for the avgas to get out there and then float all the way down. Or like we talked the last Alaskan podcast we did about your buddy Brett and his jet boat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a jet raft this year. It's like a 12-foot self-bailer raft, and they put a 25-horse jet, a Honda Jet, on the back of it. And they're running around these little rivers up here in that thing this year.
Boy, that's got to work pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Especially for a guy that's familiar with operating a jet boat. Like, I don't know how well I'd do in that thing trying to run up and down rivers. This thing's pretty swift.
Yeah, I guess it just hovers. Like, most of the raft's not even in the water.
Okay.
Just the jet engine out.
Oh. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that went.
Huh?
Yeah, if it sucked up rocks or anything, you know what I mean, in the intake. Seems like...
Yeah, I know, it's always an issue. You worry about that, sucking up stuff in the impeller, but... Yeah, there's a lot of systems and places to get into with a tool like that. Just really starts opening stuff up.
Right.
To get around up here, you gotta have toys and tools to make it happen. It's just tough. There's a ton of land.
Yeah,
But-
and the river system is...
not a lot of roads. That's what makes this place so cool up here. Is you've got access roads in the pipeline that you can walk or take a bicycle on, or you have the actual road itself that you can hunt. You've got the rivers you can float, you can hike. I mean, it's cool. And then, you know, everyone says every year it will change, so just be ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so big out here too that you can find your own approach on it, your own angle. But you're right, that is the thing we worry about, is it getting taken away from us. And isn't it been in place since the 70s? Boat only on either side 5 miles up. And yeah, I just want to support like Alaska Bow Hunters Association, and I think that'd be a good cause for us, as they just protect a lot of our bow hunting seasons and things of that nature. And then make sure we're involved when this opens for public comment, because this is a great blue collar adventure that guys can do, and you have to be prepared. There's challenges, there's struggle, the weather's tough, the tundra's tough, like it's all tough, the bugs, you name it, there's a challenge. But there's some really good hunting to be had if you get after it.
Yep, and you never know, you could just find it 200 yards right off the road.
Yep.
You could.
You know, 50 yards off the road.
Well, just
really.
living out here and spending the time out here, eventually you're going to run into the migration, you know, and when you do, there's no telling where there's going to be a bull at and where you can make a play. So it's just spending your time out here. Yeah, no, I like that saying too.
Yeah, great time.
It was a great time. Yeah, great time with
Definitely.
great friends.
We burned some miles and some gas, that's for sure.
Yeah, miles and gas. I know my legs are sore.
We should probably talk too about getting checked up on by the authority out here, and you know,
it's
having
good.
all of our stuff together, and you can go over some of the things that is needed out here.
Yeah.
As far as
you know,
harvesting meat and things
every
like that.
state is different in the rules that apply to you. And a lot of places in Alaska, you have to leave bone in. And I'm used to shooting elk in Montana backpack style, so you know I like to bone out my animals. So, but this area that we're in here, you can bone out your animals, which is really nice. You take a lot of the cuts, you know, that aren't the prime cuts and aren't required in some states, but that are great cuts. Like we just had the ribs over the fire. You got to take the ribs, you know, you take all the neck meat. You know, they just don't want you wasting anything up here, which rightfully so. You know, they have a renewable resource and they want to protect it. But yeah, we got checked by the BLM officer and the Fish and Wildlife. Those guys checked me out, bringing my bull out. And yeah, it's just good they have a presence up here where there's not, you know, a lot of outlaw stuff going on, you know, where they're keeping good tabs on this, you know, this great hunt that they can have. And the rifle guys have to hike 5 miles off the road, which is a tall order to shoot a caribou bull 5 miles off the road and get them brought back. And not that 5 miles is tough. We do more than that easy on a lot of our hikes, but it's just all the way out there and then packing that caribou bull back. And that's where you start your hunt, you know, before you even find caribou. But there is opportunity for the rifle guy too. But the bow guy, this is the spot.
Yeah, that's what it's set up for.
5 miles through the tundra is like 15 miles anywhere else.
Yeah, at least, right?
Yeah.
15 or 20. I think I'd rather do 20 miles, you know, anywhere like in Montana than I would 5 miles over the tundra. That stuff is gnarly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But
one of the main things that the authorities were looking for was making sure that the sex was still attached.
That's right. Sex attached is a huge one for a lot of different states. That's what they check. So we were able to bone out all our meat, get all our cuts. You know, and then you have to leave sex attached. And I've had to do it in Montana, so I know how to do a strip of skin, and then you leave it to the balls or whatever all the way through and leave it attached. So yeah, we all made sure we did that.
Harvest ticket.
Harvest ticket.
That's another one. Me and Robin went moose hunting one year, and we didn't know you needed a harvest ticket. We had our tag and we had our hunting license. And
it doesn't come with the tags in the mail. You have to print it out separately.
Yeah, and it doesn't cost anything. Yeah, and just every state is different too, and their rules. You really have to read through them every state you're at. You know, it's awesome that we have this opportunity, but you know, you also have the responsibility of following the rules and doing everything right while you're a guest in that state. You know, and in Alaska, you know, like I say, they take their resource very seriously. So yeah, they checked out everything, made sure sex was attached, and then, like you say, the tags and the way you tag everything, the way you notch it, or do you sign it, like everything's different in every state. But yeah, Alaska, hunting license, you know, caribou locking tag, and then you have to print out your harvest ticket over the computer.
Yep.
So yeah, we were all dialed on it, on all our details.
Yep. Went smooth.
Yeah, super smooth.
Definitely nice to be prepared, you know.
And,
right?
And they were pretty excited to see some, you know, some caribou bulls down. I guess they've been checking a few camps before, and guys were kind of striking out. And
it sounds like it's been tough hunting. I think we did really well. Capitalized the first 2 days. You guys jumped right in the mix, knocked down a couple really nice bulls, and then me and Robin battled it out here towards the end and got a couple. Chase spent the whole trip, like he filmed for me the majority of the trip. I'm sure he could have killed a bull here or there, but we teamed up and tried to capture the entire hunt. Sean stepped in on some camera work today. I think we got it all put together. I think we
captured all of it.
Oh, such cool footage.
It's 1 a.m. I'm bringing Chase out. We're going out to go get him a bull right now.
Yeah, I know it, right? Well, it isn't over yet. That's right. We still got a long drive out of here tomorrow.
Oh, look at the fog roll in.
Yeah.
It is getting dark.
The fog does roll in here. You got to be careful with your times. A lot of mornings we'd want to wake up early and go, but you wake up early and it's just raining and fogged in and you can't see anything. So it's wild how you kind of got to plan your days and then just kind of adapt on the fly.
Especially in the mountains.
Yeah.
We ran into a guy that hiked in. He was rifle hunting, and he said he went about 10, 15 miles back, and he was fogged out for 24 hours. Solo.
Yeah.
Like, that's something I wouldn't want.
Bring a GPS.
I wouldn't want.
Man.
Well, the bulls we played on a couple days ago, we drove by them in the fog, and then on the way back, they were just bedded on the hillside.
Yeah, in a course of 35 minutes, it moved through there.
Yeah.
Yep. It's true. Weather comes in and out. You never know what it's gonna do.
So fast up here. It's cool though.
It's a special place.
It is. Big sky. It just feels
spot.
like you're like being up in the Arctic up here. You just see those clouds look like they're so close to you all the time. I'm sure they're just right off the deck, right? Coastal weather.
Yep.
Sean's gonna jump in the Arctic Ocean tomorrow.
Are you?
I'm gonna go surfing.
You're on your own. I'm Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks a bunch, guys. Thanks so much, Chase, for putting this together. I mean, it puts such a wear and tear on your vehicles up here. Like it's really hard to find a rig to rent to be able to come up here, just because it's so tough on vehicles. So tire kits, like you say, we've had 2 flats already, your tires, and then we got a raft strapped to the back of your truck right now. I think I've seen 2 new dings in your windshield from trucks passing.
That's all good.
Oh man, well, thanks a bunch
flats.
for everything. I sure enjoyed sharing the hunt with you, and I sure enjoyed sharing the hunt with you guys. Sure made for a great camp. It was really fun.
Yeah, thanks for turning us on to this, you guys. That was quite a blast.
It was a blast.
Brian and Chase, you guys picked it
let's
up.
start
And
planning next year.
Scott.
Yeah, thank you, Scott.
Yeah.
Brought the firewood.
Yeah.
Firewood, the
huge.
raft.
Oh, firewood was key.
He's great
Extra
company, man,
gas.
but when he busts out that firewood, it was just oh man, because you can't burn anything out here. It's not like you're gonna burn a clump of tundra.
Right. That's key. Firewood and extra fuel.
Firewood and extra fuel, man, and a spare tire.
He's set up. He's been doing this for a bunch of years. But yeah, he's got the best camp life, set up. We've got rain fly out, but Scott makes for a great hunting partner. And yeah, he hunted hard. Hopefully he gets one tomorrow on the way out. We were hoping he'd get his birthday bull a couple days ago.
That would have been cool.
I can't keep track of time. Was that 2 days ago?
That was yesterday.
Actually, it was 2 days ago. It's 1 a.m. on the 7th.
Okay, spot on.
It's time to go home, lady.
It really is. This place is a time warp.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, guys. We'll shut her down, get some Z's, and we got to get out of here tomorrow. So, thanks again.
All right. Thanks, Alaska. Thanks, Eastmans.
Right.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. Really fun to share the hunt with those guys. It's a fun place to go do a hunt up there. I think we did a good job of articulating and describing the hunt and what went on, and it was just a blast. I just love sharing hunts with buddies, and then sharing in their success and having fun along the way and laughing. But yeah, just couldn't have been a better trip. So much fun up there. I just love hunting those caribou, and that haul road is just such a great opportunity for us blue collar bow hunters, and where you can do this affordable hunt and you can get in and make stalks and make plays on the caribou of your dreams. If you're willing to work hard and glass a bunch and kind of figure it out and spend your time up there. So I just had a ride on that hunt, had a ride the year before, and it's a hunt I want to do as many times as I can. I just really enjoy it, and share the hunt with people as well. So fun podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Sponsor for today's show is Technu. Technu makes their Technu original that's made for poison oak, poison ivy. It's just a great product. Removes the oil, so the oil, the residue doesn't last, and also gives you some relief. And then also check out their first aid gel for any injuries or blisters on your feet. It really works wonders to get you healed up quick. Yeah, and over there at Eastman's, just fun to see everybody's hunts coming together, and fun to be on my own hunts. And like I say, I'm a little sleep deprived and delirious now. We've been hunting just like crazy. Not getting much sleep, a few hours, and the deal is I don't nap very good in the day. If I nap in the day, then I don't sleep at night, and I hate laying awake at night, so I don't take naps like ever. But we've been hunting elk in the mornings and elk at night and going really hard at that, but then hunting antelope in the middle of the day. Those guys have antelope tags, and so we just been running ourselves ragged here, getting in as much hunting as we can, and not much time to eat dinner or to do anything else. So we just catch a few hours sleep, and we're back at it in the morning. So I had to get out this podcast this week. The guys are out tonight. We had 3 different bulls that were located this morning, and so they got a good chance at killing a bull. Man, we've had some close calls. Me and Sean had a bull last night. Gosh, we had that thing. We had him at 50 yards for 3 minutes, and there's just too many branches. But we pretty much like traveled with this bull for 3 miles. It was just pouring down rain, and at times the bull would be looking away, and we're just jogging to keep up with him, and we're making plays. We got into bow range like 4 different times, and finally busted him out of the timber, and then was able to cow call and then call him back down into us and dang near shoot the bull. You know how they just during the rut they get a little crazy for those cows, and I don't know, he didn't smell us, and like you say, you can kind of fool their ears and fool their eyes, you can't fool their nose, but he saw us like the last little move we made. He was like 50 yards and walked over the ledge, and I thought we'd walk right over and see him and shoot him there, and we had been moving with him forever, but he had worked through the meadow chasing this cow and this calf that he had, and so he got up a little higher than I expected and ended up catching us. But like I say, we were able to call him back in later that night, have another close encounter, called in another small bull behind us, and so anyways, we're just having a riot, having a lot of fun, and chasing elk, and doesn't get any better than that. Doesn't get any better than hunting season. I definitely have to get some work done here, and get some work done on the podcast and writing and things, and make sure I'm kept up on that and spend some quality time with the family. But yeah, it's just a great time of year. It just all comes at once, and so you're just going so hard at it. But it's just a riot, 2018. I see a lot of you guys are having successful seasons, and I love that you guys are sharing your success with me and tagging me in photos. Just means the world to me that this little podcast that we started, this community that we started, that it's helping you guys be more successful in the woods, and helping you tap into that next level. At least that's what the goal of the podcast is, and I just love sharing it, and just want to continue to get better, and give you guys really good content and entertaining content, and so it's a fun journey, that's for sure. But that's a wrap. I better go catch a few hours of sleep so I can go elk hunt again, and we'll catch up with you guys next week.